Everything that happens in your life is shaping you, either by teaching you or by testing you. Think about your own life for a moment. The good days, the bad days, the moments you still don't understand. What if none of it was random? What if every single event was quietly building your mindset, your decisions, and your future without you even noticing? Why do some people grow stronger after tough situations while others feel stuck for years? The answer is not in what happens. The answer is in how they understand it. In this video, you are going to see how life's events shape who you become, how your past is still affecting your present, and how you can use every situation to grow instead of feeling lost. Chapter 1. Trust that every event carries a useful lesson. There are moments in life when things happen that you did not plan, did not expect, and certainly did not want. A door closes, someone walks away, a failure shows up after you gave your best effort. In those moments, your first reaction is not calm thinking. Your first reaction is emotion. You feel confusion. You feel frustration. You feel like life is working against you. And right there, in that exact moment, your future begins to take shape, not because of what happened, but because of what you decide it means. You see, every event carries something with it. Not always comfort, not always happiness, but always something useful. The problem is, most people are too busy reacting to the pain that they never slow down long enough to understand the lesson. And when you miss the lesson, you repeat the experience. That is how people stay stuck for years. Same patterns, same mistakes, same results, different day. Now, think about your own life. Look at the moments that changed you. Not the easy ones, the difficult ones. The ones that kept you awake at night, the ones that made you question yourself. Those are the moments that forced you to grow. They made you think deeper. They made you see things you were ignoring. They made you stronger, even if you did not notice it right away. There is a simple truth here. Life is not just happening to you. Life is shaping you. Every event is either building you or trying to wake you up. And if you start trusting that, something powerful begins to happen. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what can I learn from this? That one shift changes everything. When something goes wrong, most people focus on what they lost. They replay the situation again and again in their mind. They think about what could have been different. They stay in that place for too long. But the person who grows, the person who moves forward, does something different. They pause, they take a breath, and they ask a better question. What is this trying to teach me about myself? Because every event reveals something. It reveals your habits. It reveals your mindset. It reveals how you respond under pressure. If you are willing to look honestly, you will find answers that can improve your life. But honesty is not always comfortable. It requires you to admit where you went wrong. It requires you to take responsibility, and that is where real growth begins. Trusting that every event carries a useful lesson does not mean you enjoy every situation. It means you respect it. It means you understand that even painful moments have value. It means you stop wasting energy, fighting reality, and start using that energy to improve yourself. Consider this. If you go through a difficult situation and come out with more awareness, more discipline, and better decision-making, then that situation was not a waste. It was training. It was preparation for something bigger. But if you go through the same situation and only carry bitterness, then you missed the opportunity. The event happened, but the growth did not. There is a responsibility that comes with this mindset. You cannot blame everything on outside circumstances anymore. You cannot point fingers at people or situations and stay comfortable. When you trust that every event has a lesson, you start looking inward. You start asking yourself hard questions. What did I ignore? What could I have done better? What will I change moving forward? These questions are not easy, but they are powerful. And here is something important to understand. The lesson is not always obvious right away. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you need distance from the situation before you can see clearly. That is okay. Growth is not instant. But what matters is that you stay open. You stay willing to learn. There is also strength in patience. Not everything will make sense immediately. But if you keep moving forward, if you keep improving yourself, clarity will come. You will start to connect the dots. You will see how one event led to another, how one experience prepared you for the next. And when you see that, your trust in life grows stronger. This kind of trust changes how you live. You become less afraid of failure because you know it carries value. You become more confident because you know you can learn from anything. You stop avoiding challenges and start facing them with a different mindset. Not as problems, but as opportunities to become better. And this is where your daily habits matter. You cannot just think this way once and expect everything to change. You have to practice it every day. When something small goes wrong, use it as a chance to learn. When something unexpected happens, pause before reacting. Give yourself a moment to think. That moment creates awareness. And awareness creates better choices. Start writing things down. When something does not go as planned, take a few minutes and ask yourself what you learned. Keep it simple. Be honest. Over time, you will start to notice patterns. You will see where you are improving and where you need more work. This is how you take control of your growth. Also, pay attention to your reactions. Your reaction tells you more about yourself than the event itself. If you get frustrated easily, there is something to work on. If you avoid responsibility, there is something to improve. These are not weaknesses, these are signals. And when you respond to those signals with action, you begin to change. There is something very powerful about a person who trusts the process of life. Not blindly, but with awareness. A person who understands that every experience has value does not stay stuck for long. They adapt, they adjust, they move forward, and that is the goal. Not perfection, not avoiding all mistakes, but becoming someone who learns faster, grows stronger, and makes better choices over time. Your life will always have challenges. That is not going to change. But what can change is how you see them. And when you start seeing every event as a chance to learn, you turn your life into a constant process of improvement. So, the next time something happens that you did not expect, do not rush to react. Take a moment, think. Ask yourself what this moment is trying to show you, because the lesson is there. It is always there. And when you learn to find it, you take control of your direction. That is how life shapes you. Not through comfort, but through experience. And when you trust that every event carries something useful, you stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a student of your own life. Chapter 2. Find meaning in moments that feel confusing. There are times in life when things happen and you simply do not understand them. You look at the situation, you think about it again and again, and nothing seems to make sense. You feel stuck in your own thoughts. You feel like something important is missing, but you cannot clearly see what it is. This is where most people become frustrated. They want answers right away. They want clarity immediately. But life does not always work that way, and that is exactly where growth begins. Confusion is not your enemy. It is a signal. It tells you that your current way of thinking is not enough for what you are facing. It shows you that there is something deeper to understand. But instead of sitting with that feeling, most people try to escape it. They distract themselves. They avoid thinking about it. They rush into quick decisions just to feel some sense of control. And in doing that, they miss the chance to grow. When a moment feels confusing, your job is not to panic. Your job is to slow down. You need to give yourself space to think clearly. That means stepping away from noise, stepping away from constant reactions, and allowing your mind to settle. Because clarity does not come from pressure. It comes from calm thinking. You have to learn how to stay with a problem long enough to understand it. That is not easy. Your mind will try to rush. It will try to fill the gaps with assumptions. It will try to jump to conclusions just to feel better. But those quick answers are often wrong. Real understanding takes time. It requires patience. It requires honesty. Think about how you usually respond when something does not make sense. Do you get frustrated quickly? Do you blame others? Do you feel overwhelmed and shut down? These reactions are normal, but they do not help you move forward. What helps you is awareness. When you notice your reaction, you gain control. And once you have control, you can choose a better response. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What am I not seeing yet?" That question opens your mind. It shifts your focus from frustration to curiosity. And curiosity is powerful. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you searching for truth instead of settling for quick comfort. Every confusing moment has layers. On the surface, it may look like a problem with other people, or with timing, or with circumstances. But underneath that, there is always something personal, something about your expectations, something about your habits, something about your decisions. And when you take the time to look deeper, you begin to understand what needs to change. This is where responsibility becomes important. Not blame, but responsibility. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility moves you forward. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for things to make sense on their own. You start working to create that understanding. There is also something important about your emotions during confusing times. You may feel anxious, you may feel uncertain, you may feel like you are losing direction. These feelings are uncomfortable, but they are not permanent. They are part of the process. When you accept them instead of fighting them, they lose their control over you. Give yourself permission to not have all the answers right away. That does not mean you stay passive. It means you stay open. You keep observing. You keep learning. You stay engaged with your life instead of withdrawing from it. Another thing to remember is that meaning is not always obvious in the moment. Sometimes you only understand a situation after some time has passed. You look back and suddenly things become clear. You see how one decision led to another. You see how one experience prepared you for something else. That kind of understanding is powerful because it builds trust in your own journey. But you do not have to wait passively for that clarity. You can actively work toward it. Start by asking better questions. Ask yourself what this situation is teaching you about your behavior. Ask yourself what you can do differently next time. Ask yourself what kind of person you need to become to handle situations like this more effectively. Write your thoughts down. When your mind is full, putting your thoughts on paper helps you see things more clearly. It slows down your thinking. It helps you organize your ideas. Over time, this simple habit can change the way you understand your life. Pay attention to patterns. If you find yourself in similar confusing situations again and again, there is something you need to notice. Life is trying to show you something. It could be the way you make decisions. It could be the kind of people you surround yourself with. It could be how you respond under pressure. When you see the pattern, you gain power to change it. There is also strength in asking for perspective. Sometimes you are too close to the situation to see clearly. Talking to someone you trust can help you see things from a different angle. Not to depend on others for answers, but to expand your understanding. You also need to be careful about the stories you tell yourself. When something is unclear, your mind will try to create a story to explain it. And often, that story is negative. You assume the worst. You think something is wrong with you or with your future. But those are just thoughts, not facts. You have to question them. You have to remind yourself that confusion does not mean failure. It simply means you are in the middle of learning. Growth does not happen when everything is clear and easy. Growth happens when you are challenged to think differently, when you are pushed out of your comfort zone, when you are forced to question your old beliefs and build new ones. So when you face a moment that feels confusing, do not run from it. Stay with it. Think about it. Learn from it. Because that moment is shaping your ability to handle life. It is building your awareness. It is strengthening your thinking. And over time, something changes. You become calmer in uncertain situations. You become more patient with yourself. You become more confident in your ability to figure things out. You stop needing everything to make sense immediately. You trust that understanding will come as long as you keep showing up and doing the work. That is how you find meaning, not by forcing answers, but by staying engaged with the process. Not by avoiding confusion, but by learning from it. And when you do that consistently, you start to see your life differently. You see that even the moments that once felt unclear had a purpose. They helped you grow. They helped you think better. They helped you become stronger. So the next time you feel lost or unsure, remember this: you are not stuck. You are learning. And if you stay patient, if you stay honest, and if you keep moving forward, that confusion will turn into understanding. And that understanding will guide your next step with more clarity than ever before. Chapter 3. Accept change as a natural part of life. There comes a point in life when you realize that nothing stays the same. People change, situations shift, plans fall apart, and new paths appear when you least expect them. Yet even knowing this, many people spend years trying to hold everything exactly as it is. They want stability in every part of life. They want certainty in every decision. That resistance creates stress. It creates fear. It creates a constant feeling of being unsettled. Not because change is the problem, but because they refuse to accept it. Change is not something that happens once in a while. It is happening every day. Your thoughts change. Your priorities change. Your relationships evolve. Your understanding grows. Life keeps moving whether you are, and when you fight that movement, you feel out of control. You feel like things are slipping away. But when you begin to accept that change is natural, something inside you starts to relax. Acceptance does not mean you like every change. It means you understand that change is part of how life works. It means you stop wasting energy, wishing things stayed the same, and start using that energy to adjust. That shift it allows you to move forward instead of staying stuck in the past. Think about the times when something changed and you did not want it to. Maybe a plan did not work out. Maybe someone you trusted acted differently. Maybe a situation you relied on suddenly disappeared. In those moments, your mind tries to go back. You replay what used to be. You compare the present with the past, and the more you do that, the harder it becomes to accept what is in front of you. Holding on too tightly to what was will stop you from seeing what is possible now. Life does not move backward. It moves forward, and your job is to move with it. That requires courage. It requires you to let go of comfort and face uncertainty. But that is where growth begins. When change happens, your first reaction might be fear. That is normal. Fear comes from not knowing what will happen next. Your mind wants predictability. It wants control. But the truth is, you do not control everything. You control your actions. You control your attitude. You control how you respond. And when you focus on what you can control, change becomes easier to handle. Start by training yourself to pause. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to observe. Ask yourself what is actually happening, not what you fear might happen. This helps you stay grounded. It keeps your thinking clear. It stops your emotions from taking over. Another important step is to adjust your expectations. Many people suffer because they expect life to stay stable. They expect people to remain the same. They expect when those expectations are broken, they feel disappointed. But if you expect change, you are not shocked by it. You are prepared for it. You are ready to adapt. Adapting does not mean losing yourself. It means growing into a better version of yourself. It means learning new skills. It means developing new ways of thinking. It means becoming more flexible in how you approach life. That flexibility is strength. It allows you to handle situations that would have overwhelmed you before. There is also something powerful about letting go. Not giving up, but letting go of what you cannot control. Letting go of how things used to be. Letting go of the need for everything to stay familiar. When you release that grip, you create space for new opportunities, space for new ideas, space for growth. Look at your own life and ask yourself where you are resisting change. Maybe it is in your habits, maybe it is in your mindset, maybe it is in a situation you know needs to shift, but you keep avoiding it. That resistance is costing you progress. The longer you hold on, the harder it becomes to move forward. Accepting change also means trusting yourself, trusting that you can handle what comes next, trusting that you will figure things out. You may not have all the answers right now, but you have the ability to learn. You have the ability to adapt. You have the ability to grow. There will be times when change feels uncomfortable. You may feel uncertain. You may feel like you are starting over. But those moments are not setbacks. They are transitions. They are preparing you for something new. And if you stay open, if you stay willing to learn, you will come out stronger. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself during these times. If you tell yourself that everything is falling apart, you will feel overwhelmed. But if you tell yourself that you are in the process of change, your mindset shifts. You start to look for solutions instead of problems. You start to take action instead of staying stuck. Build habits that support change. Stay active in your thinking. Keep learning, keep improving yourself. The more you grow, the easier it becomes to handle new situations. Growth creates confidence, and confidence helps you face change with a steady mind. Also understand that not all change is immediate. Some changes happen slowly. They take time to fully understand. Be patient with yourself during that process. Do not rush to feel comfortable. Allow yourself to adjust at your own pace, but keep moving forward. Surround yourself with people who support growth. People who understand that life is always evolving. Their mindset will influence yours. Their attitude will help you stay focused when things feel uncertain. At some point, you begin to see change differently. You stop seeing it as something to fear. You start seeing it as something that helps you grow. You become more open to learning. You become more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes next. This is not about having a perfect life. It is about having a strong mindset. A mindset that understands that life will keep changing and that you are capable of adapting to it. A mindset that stays steady even when things shift. When you accept change as a natural part of life, you free yourself from you stop fighting what you cannot control. You start focusing on what you can improve, and that is where real progress happens. So when the next change comes, and it will come, do not resist it. Do not hold on to what used to be. Stand firm. Stay aware, adjust your direction, keep moving forward. Because change is not here to break you. It is here to shape you into someone stronger, more aware, and more capable. Chapter 4. Learn why challenges appear at certain times. There are moments in life when a challenge shows up, and it feels like the worst possible timing. You just started to feel stable, and suddenly something goes wrong. You were making progress, and then a problem appears that slows everything down. In those moments it is easy to feel frustrated. You start asking why this is happening now. But if you take a step back and look more closely, you will begin to see that challenges do not appear randomly. They appear at times when something in you needs to grow. A challenge often shows up when you are ready for the next level, even if you do not feel ready. It reveals the gap between where you are and where you need to be. It exposes your current habits, your thinking patterns, and your level of discipline. Without that pressure, you might stay comfortable for too long. You might keep doing the same things without improving. But when a challenge appears, it forces you to look at yourself honestly. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation. At first, it probably felt like a setback. You may have felt stress in your body. Your thoughts may have become scattered. You may have questioned your ability. But over time, something changed. You started to adjust. You started to think differently. You started to take actions you were avoiding before. That is the role of a challenge. It pushes you out of your usual way of living. Challenges also appear when you have been ignoring something important. Maybe you knew you needed to change a habit, but maybe you avoided making a difficult decision. Maybe you stayed in a situation that was not right for you. When you ignore these signals for too long, life brings a situation that forces you to face them, not to punish you, but to wake you up. There is a pattern here that many people do not notice. The same type of challenge can appear again and again until you learn what it is trying to teach you. If you keep finding yourself in similar situations, it is not a coincidence. It is a message. It is showing you something about your choices or your mindset that needs attention. When a challenge appears, your first instinct might be to escape it. You may try to avoid dealing with it. You may distract yourself. You may hope it goes away on its own. But avoiding a challenge does not remove it. It only delays the growth that comes with it. The sooner you face it, the sooner you move forward. To understand why a challenge appears at a certain time, you need to slow down and observe. Look at what was happening in your life before the challenge showed up. Look at your habits. Look at your decisions. Look at your focus. There is always a connection. And when you see that connection, you gain control. Another important point is that challenges often appear when you are about to grow. Growth is not comfortable. It requires effort. It requires change. It requires you to step into something new. A challenge creates the conditions for that growth. It gives you a reason to improve. It gives you a reason to push yourself. Your response to the challenge is what matters most. Two people can face the same situation and have completely different outcomes. The other may learn and grow. The difference is not the challenge. The difference is how they respond to it. You need to train yourself to respond with awareness instead of emotion. When something difficult happens, your emotions will rise quickly. You may feel anger, fear, or doubt. That is normal, but if you act only on those emotions, you may make decisions that do not help you. Instead, take a moment to pause. Give yourself time to think clearly. Ask yourself what this situation is showing you. Is it showing you a lack of preparation? Is it showing you a weakness in your routine? Is it showing you that you need to improve your discipline? These questions help you turn a challenge into a learning experience. There is also strength in accepting that not every challenge is meant to be easy. Some situations are meant to test your patience. Some are meant to test your focus. Some are meant to test your consistency. These tests are not there to stop you. They are there to build you. When you begin to understand this, your mindset changes. You stop seeing challenges as interruptions. You start seeing them as part of your path. You begin to expect them, and when you expect them, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by them. Preparation becomes important here. If you build strong habits, if you work on your mindset, if you stay disciplined, you become more capable of handling challenges. You may still feel pressure, but you will not break under it. You will adjust. You will adapt. There is also something important about timing. Sometimes a challenge appears because it is the right time for you to face it. If it came earlier, you might not have been ready. If it came later, you might have stayed comfortable for too long. The timing is often connected to your current stage in life. You may not always understand the timing right away, but if you keep moving forward, you will start to see why things happened when they did. You will see how one experience prepared you for another. You will see how a difficult moment pushed you toward a better direction. It is also important to stay focused on what you can control. You cannot control when challenges appear, but you can control how you prepare for them and how you respond to them. That is where your power is. Build your ability to stay calm under pressure. Train your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. Develop the habit of taking action even when things feel difficult. These are the skills that help you handle challenges effectively. There will be times when you feel like giving up. There will be moments when the pressure. In those moments, remind yourself that this challenge is not here by accident. It is here because there is something for you to learn. There is something for you to improve. Stay patient with yourself. Growth takes time. You will not figure everything out immediately, but as long as you keep learning, as long as you keep adjusting, you will move forward. Over time, you will start to notice a shift in. You will no longer see them as problems that block your path. You will see them as situations that shape your path. You will begin to trust that every challenge has a purpose, and when you reach that point, you become stronger. You become more confident. You become more prepared for whatever comes next, because you understand that challenges are not random. They appear when there is something in you that is ready to grow, ready to improve, and ready to move to the next level. Chapter 5. Use every experience to shape your mindset. Every single day you go through experiences that most people ignore. Small interactions, unexpected situations, quiet moments alone, even the way your day starts and ends. These are not random pieces of time. These are building blocks. They are shaping how you think, how you react, and how you see yourself. The question is the real question is whether you are shaping your mindset on purpose or letting it be shaped without your awareness. Most people go through life reacting to what happens. Something good happens and they feel motivated for a short time. Something difficult happens and they feel discouraged. Their mindset moves up and down depending on their situation. That kind of mindset is unstable. It has no direction. It depends too much on what is happening outside instead of what is being built inside. If you want to grow, you have to take control of how your experiences affect you. That means you stop going through your day without thinking. You start paying attention. You start asking yourself what each experience is doing to your thinking, because every moment leaves a mark. Every situation teaches something, and if you are not careful, you may learn the wrong lesson. One person walks away thinking they are not capable. Another person walks away thinking they need a better approach. Same experience, completely different mindset. The difference is not in what happened. The difference is in how they processed it. This is where awareness becomes powerful. You need to slow down your thinking and observe your reactions. When something happens, notice what your mind says. Notice how quickly you judge yourself or the situation. That first reaction is often automatic. It comes from your past habits, but you do not have to accept it. You can question it. Ask yourself if your first thought is helping you or holding you back. If it is holding you back, change it, not with empty positive words, but with something real and useful. Replace a thought like, "I always fail," with "I need to improve this part." That shift may seem small, but over time it changes how you see yourself. You also need to understand that your mindset is built through repetition. One good thought will not change your life, but consistent thinking will. If you train yourself to learn from every experience, your mindset becomes stronger over time. You become more focused. You become more disciplined. You become more aware of your choices. When something goes well, do not just enjoy it and move on. Ask yourself what you did right. Understand the actions and decisions that led to that result. This helps you repeat it. When something does not go well, do not avoid it. Study it. Look at what needs to change. This helps you improve. There is also something important about how you handle negative experiences. Many people let one bad moment affect their entire day. It changes how they interact with others. This is how one small experience can grow into something much bigger. You have to break that pattern. When something negative happens, deal with it directly. Take a moment to understand it, learn from it, and then move forward. Do not carry it longer than necessary. Your ability to reset your thinking is a key part of building a strong mindset. Another point to consider is the environment the people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you have. All of these are experiences. They are shaping your thinking whether you notice it or not. If you surround yourself with negativity, your mindset will reflect that. If you surround yourself with growth and discipline, your mindset will start to align with that. You need to be intentional about what you allow into your life. Choose environments that challenge you to improve. Choose conversations that make you think. Choose activities that help you grow. These choices create experiences that support your development. Your past experiences also play a role. Some of them may still affect how you think today. If you have faced failure, rejection, or disappointment, those memories can influence your current mindset, but you have the ability to reinterpret them. You can choose to see them as moments that made you stronger, instead of moments that define your limits. This requires honesty. You need to look at your past without avoiding it. Understand what happened, understand how it affected you, then decide what you want to take from it moving forward. You do not have to carry everything. You can keep the lessons and leave the rest. There is also power in consistency. You cannot shape your mindset only when you feel motivated. You have to do it every day, even on days when you feel tired, even on days when things do not go as planned. Those are the days that matter most, because that is when your mindset is tested. Train yourself to respond with discipline instead of mood. Do what needs to be done even when you do not feel like it. This builds self-respect. It builds confidence. It strengthens your mindset in a way that motivation alone cannot. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Your internal voice is one of the most powerful influences on your mindset. If you constantly criticize yourself, you will limit your growth. If you guide yourself with clear and honest thoughts, you will improve. Be firm but fair with yourself. Recognize your mistakes, but do not stay stuck in them. Focus on what you can do next. Focus on how you can improve. This keeps your mindset moving forward. Over time, something changes inside you. You start using them. You become more aware of your thinking. You become more intentional with your actions. You begin to see every situation as a chance to improve. This does not mean life becomes easy. You will still face challenges. You will still have difficult moments, but your mindset will be stronger. You will handle situations with more clarity. You will make better decisions, and that is the goal. Not to avoid problems, a mindset that learns, adapts, and grows with every experience. So do not waste your days going through the same patterns without awareness. Use what happens in your life as a tool. Learn from it, adjust your thinking, improve your actions, build a mindset that works for you, not against you. Because in the end, your mindset shapes your direction, and your experiences are the material you use. Chapter 6. Grow through situations instead of resisting them. There are situations in life that you wish would disappear the moment they arrive. You feel the pressure in your chest, your thoughts start moving fast, and your first instinct is to push the situation away. You want it gone. You want relief. You want things to go back to how they were before. That reaction is natural, but it also, because the truth is, the situations you try hardest to avoid are often the ones that have the most to teach you. When you resist what is happening, you create more tension inside yourself. Your energy goes into fighting the situation instead of understanding it. You replay it in your mind, you complain about it, you wish it was different, but nothing changes. The situation stays, and now you are carrying stress on top of it. Now consider a different approach. Instead of pushing the situation away, you face it directly. You look at it as it is, not how you wish it was. You accept that it is part of your current reality. That acceptance does not mean you agree with it or like it. It means you stop wasting energy denying it, and once you stop resisting, you can start thinking clearly. Clarity is what allows growth to begin. When your mind is not busy fighting reality, it becomes available to understand it. You start to notice details you missed before. You begin to see what the situation is asking from you. Every situation demands something. It might require patience. It might require discipline. It might require a difficult decision. When you resist, you avoid that demand. When you think about the times you resisted something in your life, maybe it was a responsibility you did not want. Maybe it was a conversation you avoided. Maybe it was a change you were not ready for. That resistance delayed your progress. It kept you in the same place longer than necessary, but the moment you decided to deal with it, things started to move. Growth does not come from comfort. It comes from engagement. It comes from stepping into situations that challenge you and choosing to work through them. That is where your strength is built. Not when everything is easy, but when you are required to adapt. There is a difference between being stuck in a situation and growing through it. Being stuck means you are passive. You wait, you complain, you hope things change without your effort. You look for what you can improve. You adjust your thinking. You move forward, even if progress is slow. One of the biggest reasons people resist situations is because they fear discomfort. They do not want to feel pressure. They do not want to feel uncertain. But discomfort is part of growth. It signals that you are stepping into something new. It shows that you are moving beyond your usual limits. If you always stay where you feel comfortable, your life will remain the same. You will repeat the same patterns, make the same choices, and get the same results. But when you accept discomfort and work through it, you expand your ability. You become more capable. You become more confident. There is also something important about your attitude during difficult situations. If you approach them with frustration, you will see them as obstacles. If you approach them with willingness, you will see them as opportunities to improve. That shift in attitude changes how you experience the situation. You need to train yourself to stay engaged, even when things feel difficult. That means staying present instead of escaping into distractions. It means facing what needs to be done instead of delaying it. It means taking small steps even when the path is not fully clear. Start by focusing on what you can do right now. Do not think too far ahead. Do not overwhelm yourself with everything at once. Look at the situation and identify the next step you can take. Then take it. That action builds momentum. Another important part of growing through situations is learning how to manage your thoughts. Your mind can either support you or hold you back. If you keep telling yourself that the situation is too hard, you will feel overwhelmed. If you tell yourself that you can handle it step by step, you will feel more in control. This is not about pretending everything is easy. It is about choosing thoughts that help you move forward. It is about staying real. It is about guiding your thinking instead of being controlled by it. You also need to be patient with your progress. Growth does not happen instantly. You may not see results right away. You may feel like you are moving slowly. That is normal. What matters is that you keep going. Consistent effort over time creates real change. Pay attention to how you feel after you face a situation instead of avoiding it. There is a sense of strength. You realize that you are capable of handling more than you thought. That feeling builds confidence, and confidence makes it easier to face the next challenge. There will be moments when you feel like stepping back. Moments when you feel tired. Moments when the situation feels heavy. In those moments, remind yourself why you are doing this. You are not just trying to solve a problem. You surround yourself with reminders of your progress. Look at how far you have come. Think about the situations you handled before. Use those experiences as proof that you can handle what is in front of you now. Another key point is to avoid comparing your journey with others. Everyone faces different situations at different times. Your focus should be on your own growth, on your own actions, on your own progress. As you continue to face situations, you become more steady, you become less reactive. You start to trust your ability to handle life. You no longer feel the need to escape every difficult moment. You face it with a clear mind and a strong attitude. This is how real growth happens, not in perfect conditions, but in real situations. Situations that test you, challenge you, and push you to improve. So the next time you find yourself, take a breath. Look at the situation clearly. Ask yourself what it requires from you, then step forward and meet it. Because every situation you face is shaping you, and when you choose to grow through it instead of resisting it, you take control of that process. You turn every challenge into progress. You turn every moment into a step forward, and that is how you build a life of strength, awareness, and continuous growth. Chapter 7. Connect past events to your present decisions. There is something important happening in your life right now that you may not fully notice. The way you think, the way you react, the choices you make every day, they are not only based on what is in front of you, they are deeply connected to what you have already been through. Your past is not gone, it is active. It is shaping your present decisions in ways that are often quiet, and if you do not take time to understand that connection, you may keep repeating patterns without realizing why. Every experience you have had has left an impression. Some were positive and gave you confidence. Some were difficult and created doubt. These impressions influence how you see yourself and how you see the world. They influence what you believe you can do and what you avoid. When a situation appears today, your mind does not only look at it as something new, it compares it with what you have experienced before. It reacts based on what it has learned. Think about how you respond to challenges. Do you step forward with confidence or do you hesitate? That reaction often comes from past experiences. If you have faced success in similar situations, you are more likely to trust yourself. If you have faced failure, you may hold back. The situation may be different, but your mind connects it to what it already knows. This is why awareness is so important. You need to start noticing where your decisions are coming from. When you feel unsure, ask yourself if that feeling is based on the present moment or something from your past. When you hesitate, ask yourself what you are remembering or expecting. This kind of questioning helps you separate what is real now from what was true before. Many people allow their past to control their present without questioning it. They carry old beliefs that no longer serve them. They make decisions based on fear that was created years ago. They avoid opportunities because of one negative experience. This keeps them stuck in a cycle that feels familiar, but does not help them grow. You can learn from your past without being limited by it. But that requires honesty. You need to look at your past experiences clearly, not to judge yourself, but to understand what you learned from them. Take time to reflect on the events that shaped you. Think about moments where you felt strong and capable. Think about moments where you felt uncertain or discouraged. Look at how those experiences affect. What did you start believing about yourself? What habits did you develop? What patterns began to repeat? Once you see those patterns, you gain control. You begin to understand why you make certain choices. You begin to see where you are holding yourself back, and that understanding gives you the power to change your direction. It is important to remember that your past does not define your future. It informs it. It shows you what worked and what did not. But you are still responsible for what you do with that information. When you connect your past to your present decisions, you start making more conscious choices. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause, you think. You ask yourself if this decision is based on growth or based on old habits. That pause is powerful. It gives you space to choose differently. There may be times when you realize that you have been holding on to something that is no longer useful, a belief that limits you, a fear that is no longer relevant, a pattern that keeps repeating. Letting go of these things is not always easy. It requires effort. It requires you to step into something new, but that is how change happens. You also need to learn how to use your past as a source of strength. Not everything you have been through was easy, but many of those experiences made you stronger. They taught you lessons. They helped you develop skills. They showed you what you are capable of handling. When you face a situation today, remind yourself of what you have already overcome. Use those experiences as evidence that you can move forward. This builds confidence. It shifts your focus from doubt to ability. There is also value in understanding your emotional patterns. Your emotions are often connected to past experiences. Certain situations may trigger strong reactions because they remind you of something you have felt before. When you recognize this, you can manage your emotions more effectively. You can respond with awareness instead of reacting without thinking. Pay attention to your decision-making process. Notice if you are avoiding something because of past discomfort. Notice if you are choosing something because it feels familiar, even if it is not the best option. These observations help you make better decisions. Another important step is to update your thinking. Just because something was true in your past does not mean it is true now. You have grown, you have learned, you have changed. Your thinking needs to replace outdated beliefs with ones that support your progress. If you once believed that you could not handle certain situations, challenge that belief. Look at your current abilities. Look at what you have learned. Give yourself credit for your growth. You can also create new patterns through consistent action. When you make better decisions repeatedly, you begin to build a new way of thinking. Over time, your past still exists, but it no longer controls your present. Be patient with this process. Changing how you connect your past to your present takes time. There will be moments when old patterns appear again. That is part of the process. What matters is that you notice it and choose differently. Surround yourself with reminders of who you are becoming, not just who you were. Focus on your goals. Focus on your growth. Focus on the actions you are taking today. This keeps your attention on the present while using your past as a guide, not a limitation. As you continue to build this awareness, you will start to feel more in control of your life. You will make decisions with clarity. You will respond to situations with confidence. You will stop repeating patterns that do not serve you. You begin to understand that your past is not something to escape. It is something to learn from. It is a source of information that can help you make better choices today. So take time to reflect. Take time to understand. Connect the events that shaped you to the decisions you are making now, and then choose your direction with awareness. Because when you understand where your choices come from, you gain the power to shape where they lead. Chapter 8. See purpose in both success and failure. There are two types of moments that shape your life more than anything else. The moments when things go right and the moments when things fall apart. Most people only celebrate one and try to forget the other. They feel proud when they succeed and feel discouraged when they fail. They treat these two experiences as opposites, as if one is good and the other is bad. But if you look deeper, both carry something valuable. Both are working for you in different ways. The difference is whether you take time to understand them. Success feels good. You feel confident. You feel capable. You feel like your effort has paid off. There is a sense of relief and satisfaction, but success is not just a result to enjoy. It is information. It shows you what worked. It shows you what decisions led to that outcome. It shows you what habits supported your progress. If you only celebrate success without studying it, you miss a powerful opportunity to grow. Think about a time when you achieved something important. You may have focused on the final result, but did you take time to understand how you got there? Did you look at your actions, your discipline, your consistency? These are the things that created that success, and if you understand them clearly, you can repeat them. Success also tests your mindset in a different way. It can make you comfortable. It can make you feel like you have done enough. It can slow down your effort if you are not careful. This is why some people succeed once and then stop growing. They lose the drive that helped them get there. You need to stay aware during success, appreciate it, but do not become dependent on it. Keep your focus on improvement. Keep asking yourself how you can do better. This keeps your mindset active. It keeps you moving forward. Now consider failure. This is where most people struggle. When something does not work out, it affects your emotions quickly. You may feel disappointed, frustrated, or even question yourself. Your mind may focus on what went wrong and why it should not have happened. But failure is not the end of your progress. It is part of the process. Failure gives you information that success cannot. It shows you what needs to change. It reveals weaknesses in your approach. It highlights areas where you need more effort or better thinking. If you avoid looking at failure, you avoid learning from it, and that keeps you repeating the same mistakes. There is something important about how you respond to failure. If you take it personally and see it as a sign that you are not capable, it will hold you back. But if you see it as feedback, it becomes useful. It becomes a guide that helps you improve. When you face failure, take time to understand it. Look at what happened without judging yourself. Identify what you can do differently next time. This turns a negative experience into a learning opportunity. Failure also builds something that success cannot always build: resilience. It teaches you how to handle pressure. It teaches you how to keep going when things are not working. It strengthens. Many people give up too soon because they do not see progress right away. They expect quick results. When those results do not come, they lose motivation. But growth often requires time. It requires repeated effort. Failure is part of that process. It is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to adjust. There is also something important about balance. If you only focus on success, if you only focus on failure, you may lose confidence. You need to see both clearly. You need to understand that both experiences are shaping you. Success shows you what you are capable of. Failure shows you what you need to improve. Together, they create a complete picture of your progress. They guide you toward better decisions. Your mindset plays a key role here. If you see success as the only acceptable outcome, you will fear failure. That fear will stop you from trying new things. It will keep you in your comfort zone. But if you accept that failure is part of learning, you become more willing to take action. You start to focus on effort instead of just results. You start to value the process. This keeps you moving forward, even when things are difficult. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself after both success and failure. After success, remind yourself to stay focused and keep improving. After failure, remind yourself that this is part of growth and you can learn from it. This balanced thinking helps you stay steady. Another important point is consistency. Do not let one success make you relax too much. Do not let one failure make you stop. Keep your actions consistent. Keep working on your goals. This steady effort builds long-term progress. There will be moments when success feels far away and failure feels heavy. In those moments, your mindset matters the most. Stay patient. Stay focused on what you can control. Take one step at a time. Progress may not always be visible, but it is happening if you keep working. Also remember that both success and failure are temporary. Neither one defines you completely. They are moments in your journey, not your final identity. What defines you is how you respond, how you learn, and how you continue. As you develop this understanding, you start to see your experiences differently. You stop chasing success just for the feeling. You stop fearing failure just because it feels uncomfortable. You start using both as tools for growth. You become more stable in your thinking. You are not overly excited by success and not deeply discouraged by failure. You stay focused on improvement. You stay committed to your path. This is where real strength comes from, not from avoiding failure or only chasing success, but from understanding both and using them to build yourself. So when things go well, when things do not go as planned, take time to adjust. Keep your mindset steady, keep your focus clear, and keep moving forward, because every experience, whether it feels good or difficult, has a purpose. And when you learn to see that purpose, you turn your entire life into a process of growth and progress. Chapter 9. Allow life to guide your personal direction. There are times when you try to control every part of your life so tightly that you forget to observe what is actually happening. You make plans, you set goals, you decide exactly how things should unfold, and when something moves in a different direction, you feel frustrated. You feel like something has gone wrong. But there is another way to look at this. Life is not, it is also something that gives you feedback. It shows you signals. It presents situations that can guide you if you are willing to pay attention. Allowing life to guide your direction does not mean you stop making decisions. It means you stay aware of what is happening around you and within you. It means you stop forcing outcomes that are not working and start adjusting based on real experiences. Many people continue pushing in the wrong direction simply because they do not want to change their plan. They become attached to what they decided earlier, even when the results are showing them something different. You need to develop the ability to notice when something is not aligned, when your effort is not producing progress, when you feel constant resistance in a certain path, when your energy feels low despite trying hard. These are signals. They are there to guide you, but if you ignore them, you stay stuck longer than necessary. Pay attention to how your life responds to your actions. When you take a step and something improves, that is information. When you try something and it leads to repeated problems, that is also information. Life is always responding to what you do. Your job is to observe those responses and adjust. This requires humility. You have to accept that you do not have all the answers from the beginning. You have to be open to learning as you go. You have to be willing to change your direction when new understanding comes. That is not weakness. That is growth. There is a difference between being lost and being guided. Being lost means you are not paying attention. You are moving without awareness. Being guided means you are engaged, you are observing, you are learning from each step. Even if you do not know the full path, you are making better decisions based on what you are experiencing. Many people feel pressure to have everything figured out. They want a clear path from the start. They want certainty. But life does not always provide that. It often reveals direction step by step. One experience leads to another. One decision opens a new opportunity. If you are too focused on having a perfect plan, you may miss those opportunities. Instead of trying to control every outcome, focus on taking the next meaningful step. Look at your current situation and ask yourself what makes sense right now. What can you do that moves you forward? Even if it is small, that step will lead to the next one. There is also something important about trusting your own awareness. As you go through experiences, you develop understanding. You start to recognize what works for you and what does not. You start to see patterns. You start to feel when something is right and when something is not. That awareness is valuable. It is part of how life guides you, but you have to listen to it. Many people ignore their own signals. They continue in situations that do not feel right because they are afraid to change. They stay in environments that do not support their growth because it feels familiar. This keeps them from moving in a better direction. You need to be honest with yourself. If something is not working, acknowledge it. If a path is not leading to growth, consider adjusting it. This does not mean you quit at the first difficulty. It means you evaluate. You look at the results. You look at your effort. You decide based on what is real, not just what you hoped would happen. There is also value in patience. Guidance does not always come instantly. Sometimes you need to go through a situation fully before you understand it. Sometimes you need to experience different paths before you find the one that fits you best. This takes time. It requires you to stay engaged even when things. During this process, keep building yourself. Improve your habits, strengthen your mindset, Develop your skills. The stronger you become, the better you can handle different directions. You become more capable of making good decisions. Another important part of this is letting go of rigid expectations. When you expect life to follow a specific plan, you limit your ability to adapt. You may miss better off. When you stay flexible, you give yourself room to grow. Flexibility does not mean you have no direction. It means you are willing to adjust your path based on what you learn. It means you stay focused on growth instead of being attached to a specific outcome. Also pay attention to what consistently draws your attention, what kind of work interests you, what kind of problems you enjoy solving, what kind of environment helps you feel focused. These are clues. They are part of how your direction develops. Your experiences are shaping your understanding of what suits you. If you observe them carefully, you will start to see a pattern. You will start to see where your energy is best used. That is how you begin to move in a direction that feels more aligned. There will be moments when you doubt your direction, moments when things feel uncertain. That is part of the process. Do not let that stop you. Keep moving, keep learning, keep adjusting. Trust is important here, not blind trust, but trust built on awareness. Trust that if you stay engaged, if you keep learning from your experiences, you will find your way. Trust that each step is adding to your understanding. As you continue this process, something changes in how you approach. You become more observant. You become more confident in your ability to adjust. You stop trying to force everything to happen exactly as planned. You start working with what is happening. You start making decisions based on real information. This makes your progress more effective. You also feel less pressure because you are not trying to control every outcome. You are focused on taking the right actions. This creates a steady sense of progress. Allowing life to guide your direction is not about giving up control. It is about using your awareness to move wisely. It is about learning from each experience and letting that learning shape your next step. So pay attention, stay aware, be willing to adjust, keep moving forward with purpose. Because your direction is not something you find all at once. It is, and when you allow life to guide you with awareness, you move with clarity, confidence, and continuous growth. Chapter 10. Turn every moment into a chance to evolve. There is something powerful about realizing that your life is not shaped only by big events. It is shaped by small moments that happen every single day. The way you wake up, the way you respond to people, the way you handle pressure, the way you use your time when no one is watching. These moments may seem ordinary, but they are not empty, each one, and most people miss this because they are waiting for something big to happen before they decide to grow. Growth does not wait for the perfect moment. It happens in real time, in the middle of your daily routine. It happens when you choose to think better, act better, and respond better, even in small situations. If you only focus on major changes, you will overlook the steady progress that builds a strong life. Every moment you can react based on old habits, or you can respond with awareness. You can stay comfortable, or you can challenge yourself slightly. These choices may seem small, but they add up over time. They create direction. They shape who you are becoming. Think about how you spend your day. There are many moments where you act without thinking. You follow the same routine. You respond in the same way. This is not always bad, but if those patterns are not helping you grow, they keep you in the same place to evolve. You need to bring awareness into those moments. Start by noticing your behavior. When you feel irritated, how do you respond? When you feel tired, do you stop, or do you continue with discipline? When you face a task you do not enjoy, do you avoid it or do you handle it with focus? These are the moments where growth happens. You do not need to change everything at once. That often leads to frustration. Instead, focus on small improvements. Do one thing better than you did yesterday. Speak more clearly. Listen more carefully. Manage your time more effectively. Stay calm when you would usually react quickly. These small changes build a stronger version of you. There is also something important about consistency. One good decision will not transform your life, but repeated good decisions will. When you train yourself to use each moment wisely, you build a pattern of growth. That pattern becomes part of your identity. Your mindset plays a key role here. If you see your day as something to get through, you will miss opportunities to improve. But if you see your day as a series of chances to evolve, your attention changes. You become more focused. You become more intentional. This does not mean you need to be perfect. You will still make mistakes. You will still have moments where you fall back into old habits. That is part of the process. What matters is how quickly you recover. Do not stay stuck in a mistake. Learn from it and move forward. There is also value in discipline. Motivation may come and go, but discipline keeps you moving. When you do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like it, you build strength. You build self-respect. You show yourself that you can rely on your actions, not just your mood. Look at how you handle your time. Time is made of moments. When you use your time carelessly, you lose opportunities to grow. When you use your time with purpose, you move forward. This does not mean you need to be busy all the time. It means you need to be intentional with what you do. Take a few moments each day to reflect. Think about what you did well. Think about what you can improve. This simple habit keeps your growth active. It helps you stay aware of your progress. Your environment also affects how you use your moments. If you surround yourself with distractions, it becomes harder to stay focused. If you surround yourself with people and activities that support growth, it becomes easier to stay on track. Choose your environment carefully. There is also something powerful about your attitude toward effort. If you see effort as something difficult that you want to avoid, you will limit your progress. But if you see effort as something that builds you, you will approach it differently. You will be more willing to take action. You do not need perfect conditions to grow. You can improve in any situation. When things are going well, you can build on your progress. When things are difficult, you can develop strength and patience. Every situation offers something. Your thoughts influence your actions. If you tell yourself that you are too tired or that something is too difficult, you will slow down. If you remind yourself that you can handle it step by step, you will keep moving. As you continue to use each moment wisely, you begin to see change. It may not be immediate, but it is steady. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your actions become more consistent. Your confidence grows because you see yourself improving. You also begin to feel more in control of your life, not because everything is perfect, but because you are making better use of your time and energy. You are not waiting for change. You are creating it through your daily actions. There will be days when you feel less motivated, days when things do not go as planned. In those moments, remember that you still have a choice. Even on a difficult day, you can take one step forward. That step matters. Do not underestimate the power of small progress. It may seem slow, but it is reliable. It builds a foundation that supports long-term growth. It creates habits that stay with you. Over time, you become someone who does not waste moments. Someone who sees opportunity in daily life. Someone who continues to improve even when no one is watching. This is how evolution happens, not through one big change, but through consistent effort in everyday moments. It is a process that you control through your awareness and your actions. So take each moment seriously, not with pressure, but with purpose. Use it to think better, act better, and improve yourself. Because your life is made up of these moments, and when you learn to use them well, you build a life of growth.